I don't want to speak for Coach himself, but it feels good to be back on the Wes Miller Show following the win over the Wofford Terriers on Monday night. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wes Miller Show, presented by the UNCG Alumni Association. Coach, I know I may have spoke for you there for just a second, but, man, it sure feels good to be talking to you after what was a big win for your crew on Monday night.
Yeah, wins feel better than losses. I think everybody in the world say that, and as coaches and players and as a program, we're no different. So, feel good about the fact that we had a big win here at home, but nothing changes. Back in the gym today, trying to get better, and should be the same mindset, win, lose, or draw.
And we'll dissect the Wofford game here in just a moment, but I think really why the Wofford game may be more significant is how the week prior went for you guys with the 3 straight losses and that skid. What do you do during a stretch like that, especially when you think back to the ETSU game? And every game is always a crushing loss whenever you lose. It doesn't matter who you play. It just seemed that game had a little bit more crushing effect than others. When you know that when you lose a tough game at home and you have to go on the road for a couple weeks and then you come back against a really talented Wofford team on Monday night, what are things you do when you're leading the charge and getting your guys back, not just physically but mentally as well?
Well, I think, that was a tough loss. And we've had some really heartbreaking losses this year. I think 4 of our losses in league, we've had a lead in the last minute of those games. And so those have been really difficult. But the East Tennessee State, which was the 4th of those, we had a 7-point lead with the ball with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left and some change there maybe. And so that was even a little bit more heartbreaking because you felt like you had it even more in hand and had an opportunity to close it out and didn't. I think this group from day one has really handled tough moments well until East Tennessee State. I didn't think that coming off that game we responded the way we've responded to things all year and had a little bit of a hangover effect. I didn't like how we played or practiced, whether it was the Furman game on the road, the BMI game, or the practices in between those games. I didn't like the way that we approached them. But we got back to work after VMI and had UNCG practices that are closer to our standards than the other ones have been. And it was nice to see them come out and play a little better because I'm a believer that when you practice the right way, it carries over into the game.
It seemed like it showed Monday night against Wofford, and we'll go ahead and roll the highlights and take a look at the game against the Terriers. And we pick up this game just before the halfway point in the first half where Demetrius Troy follows a Wofford rebound to get a breakaway, fast break for UNCG. But it was Diante Baldwin with the follow-up. Coach, it just seemed like he was playing like a man possessed on offense and defense for your guys. What did you like from Diante in this game?
He was really focused. He was focused on both ends and certainly was in attack mode offensively, but we see that from him often, and he's had a good year doing that, getting the ball downhill and making good decisions and finishing. But he was really focused on the defensive end of the floor and put as complete a game together defensively as we've seen from him here, and I think that's something we can really build on.
As you can see, Wofford continuing to add to their lead. They ultimately end up leading by 10, and it really starts with this alley-oop right before halftime. But your squad coach was able to follow it up. Francis Alonso quickly got the ball up the floor and got a shot in right before the halftime buzzer. How important was that moment specifically in getting some positive momentum building into the second half because you started with a 9-0 run?
Well, I like that we got the ball up the floor fast in that situation. We talk about that a lot, how we're going to play at the end of the half. And we had actually called a timeout to try to go 2 for 1. Didn't do a great job of executing. But Garrett didn't get it out as quick as I'd like, but we got it up and he hit a big shot. And 8 and 10 is a big difference at halftime. That's a big difference in number of possessions, and it's also a big difference in terms of your morale there. Being down double figures is quite different than being down 8, so I thought that was a big shot.
And we're seeing the 9-0 run right now on your screen. Where did you feel the adjustments were made, if really you made a lot of adjustments in the second half to ultimately start building a lead?
Yeah, well, the little guy get up there and dunk one. That surprised me as much as I think it surprised everybody else. And he's really moving well, as you can see. I think some rest did him good. But, no, the adjustments were simple. We had to do a better job on the glass. I mean, they had 7 offensive rebounds in the first half, and that was a key to the game. And we came out, I think we only allowed 1 in the second half, so that was a big adjustment. And the ball needed to start moving a little bit better too, Luke. You look down at the stat sheet and you got 2 assists. That's not how we play, and that's not how we've been successful on offense. And you look up at in the end of the second half, it's over, and you had 7 in the second half. The ball moved a lot better, and that was another thing we spent a lot of time talking about at halftime.
And we're seeing the final 4 minutes of the game right now. It seems this has been the norm. You talked about it just moments ago. Final possessions of the game, you're right there, tied. You had a 2-point lead in this game. Why was your team able to finish and hold off Wofford on Monday night?
Well, give credit to our guys. They made some plays. I mean, you see KO making a big play there. Certainly, Francis comes over and makes that shot. But I thought we buckled down a little more defensively. You know, I thought we had some really nice possessions, some possessions we talked about with our team in practice, and we showed in film, I should say. But we did a much better job of buckling down defensively, and then it was nice to see some guys get out there and make some big plays too.
Dean Keener and Pete Yanity mentioned this on the Fox broadcast. They were talking to you before the game, and you said, it seems like we played the same game over and over multiple times, especially when it gets down late. Is the Wofford game, again, it's one game at a time. You guys got more games. You got Sanford on Thursday, which you're focused on. But does that win mean a little bit more knowing you kind of were in the same situation again into the final moments, and this time your team was able to put their foot on the gas pedal and ultimately pull away?
Yeah, you know, I think, again, it's one of those things, don't overanalyze it. You know, let's win the next possession. You know, and that's something that we talk about a lot. And I think, you know, if you do want to start to analyze it, as you asked, I got to say it's good to successfully execute at the end of games because it gives you guys confidence that you can do it. And, you know, we've done that before. We haven't done it quite as much as I would have liked this year, but hopefully we get into some more close games here in the stretch run of the season and in the conference tournament, and we know that we've done it successfully, and that's something that we can build on.
We've reached our first break in the show, and the man with the headband wore it on Monday night against the Wofford Terriers. That's Diante Baldwin. He joins the show right after this short break.
Normally, we're not on the same side.
Not even close.
But there's one thing bigger than our rivalry,
and that's beating cancer.
It's the one thing we can agree on.
And together, we can win.
That's why we're teaming up with Subway Restaurants
and the American Cancer Society's Coaches vs. Cancer program.
Go into any Triad Subway
and make a donation to Coaches vs. Cancer.
Any amount, with or without a purchase.
Team up with us and Subway Restaurants.
And help us win against cancer.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wes Miller Show, presented by the UNCG Alumni Association. And for the second time this year, we are blessed by the presence of Diante Baldwin. And why not? After a 21-point performance in the 65-61 win over the Wofford Terriers on Monday night. And Diante, welcome back. It's great to see you again. And more importantly, how's it feel to be talking to me after what was a huge win for your team on Monday night?
It feels real good to be talking to you after a win since we had 3 back-to-back losses in league play. It feels real good. I'm happy we finally could get that win, and a big win over Wofford at that.
You said how it is a big win. What did beating Wofford mean to you and the team? You know, there's many other games that come and many more important games, including this weekend with Sanford and Chad upcoming for you guys. But knowing the week that you had, what did it mean beating Wofford and able to put those 3 games behind you that you guys went through before Wofford?
It meant a lot for the team as far as we've been trying to find a way to get back to practicing harder and practicing better. And so beating Wofford kind of showed us that if we keep that practice paced up the 2 days that we had before, that we can compete at the top of the conference.
How difficult was it getting over it? And maybe not just the 3 losses that you had, but, you know, it started with ETSU here in Fleming, which was just a heartbreaker for you guys. How difficult was it trying to put those games behind you, because you're emotionally invested in every game and knowing that you got a really talented Wofford team coming in, which was Monday night?
It was difficult to put that. The ETSU game hurt us a lot. So therefore, when we was playing the other games, and we was just still stuck kind of on that loss because we was up so much at the end of the game, and then we end up losing by 3. But we just continue to try to go hard and stress it to the freshmen that we gotta put that stuff behind us, or the younger players, we gotta put that stuff behind us. And the juniors and seniors tried to come together and make the practices harder and harder.
You just brought up trying to learn to put it behind you. Other than maybe that lesson that you guys learned, what did you and the team take away last week that you were able to use and implement against Wofford that turned out to be a win?
I guess just remain alert and ready. Like Coach West put a big emphasis on us being alert and ready as far as the team and on defense and sprinting to the next play and not worrying about what the refs say. We just gonna play our game and be alert and ready, have our feet moving and active, and that's the biggest thing I think we took away from that.
I think it's pretty sure that you took it away. Watching you on Monday night, I mentioned the 21 points you had, but it seemed like everywhere, defensively for you, offensively, it was just a whole nother level for you. What went well for you that you felt when you stepped on the floor against the Terriers that you weren't going to walk up that floor unless your team was winning? What was going through your mind that allowed you to really perform the way you did?
Well, against VMI, I had told Coach Jackie that I was just going to play as hard as I can for as long as I can. And I guess I didn't feel like I did that. And I had told him before that I wanted to do that. So when I get tired, you can take me out. And it doesn't matter. I just want to go hard as I can. Because sometimes, I feel like I have to save myself because I'm playing so many minutes. But I told myself I wasn't going to do that anymore. So against Wofford, I went out and just played as hard as I can for as long as I can, and the ball was going in and everything was just going right.
You guys have been through so much as a team already this year. It seems no matter if you guys have a 3-game losing streak, you're going to bounce back like you do on Monday night. But what's the key to, you mentioned saying, hey, we got to put that behind us and continue moving forward. Now to do that consistently, what's the next step for you guys in saying carry over what you did Monday night to hopefully to Birmingham, Alabama on Thursday, and ultimately Chattanooga on Saturday?
It's easy. We just got to practice practice consistently. If our practice becomes consistently, games will come consistent.
And outside of that, did your headband have anything to do at all with your great performance on Monday?
I don't know, but I will not be playing another game without it.
Diante, thanks so much for the time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
Once again, that was Diante Baldwin. We're going to take a short break on the show, but when we come back, Coach Miller rejoins us to close it out, and we have a surprise for Coach Miller. What is it? Stay tuned to find out.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Greensboro and Winston-Salem, it would be Jason Bramblett. He attracts hundreds of buyers and creates so much demand that Jason can guarantee if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, he will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Welcome back to the Wes Miller Show, presented by the UNCG Alumni Association. Coaches rejoined me, and Monday night was a huge success for the Spartans on the floor. They were able to get the win against the Wofford Terriers, but there was also some fun in the stands. It was social media night for the Spartans, and that was headed up by Daisha Imes here at UNCG. They had some special player emojis for the Spartans. Now, of course, all the teenagers, I'm sure Coach Miller knows all of his favorite emojis, but each of his players had one, and we're going to give Coach Miller a quiz. We're going to bring them up on the screen. Coach Miller's got a screen of his own down here, so we're going to start off here with the first one. Coach, who do you think this is?
Got to be Demetrius Troy because of the scruff. We need him to shave a little more, but apparently not enough.
There you go. Demetrius Troy, Coach is 1 for 1. Let's bring up number 2.
Well, you know, you gave it away already. That's Diante Baldwin with the headband. The only guy that's been wearing a headband at times this year. So
Coach Miller's on a roll. He's feeling really good. Number 3.
Oh, that's Francis, the goatee and the hair. I think that's pretty simple there. I got it.
Passing with flying colors. Here's the 4th one.
That's a tougher one. I'm gonna guess Assad or Lloyd.
Wrong. KL Live.
That's KL.
KL.
Okay,
Big
KL.
Smiles.
The beard. I should have got that.
There's KL, and I believe we got another one here.
Man, I don't know.
That's another tricky one.
That's a tough one for me there, Luke. Marvin?
Marvin, there you go.
There you
Coach
go.
Miller gets it.
That.
Marvin Smith.
That was, a little bit of subtraction there.
A little bit of subtraction. And one more here.
That's RJ, and the glasses give it away to me. So.
RJ White. Now, this one may be the toughest, and here's the last emoji. This may take you a hard time to get it. Who do you think that is?
You know, my wife would like it if I was that thin. That's got to be me in the suit and tie. Gives it away there.
That is Coach Miller. Correct. You did very well there. You only missed one. Coach Miller not only knows his actual players, he knows the emoji versions of himself. So give Coach Miller a pat on the back. And Coach, very quickly, let's focus on Sanford on Thursday night. You know, this is a team coming in. They've lost 4 of their last 5, but all 4 of those losses were 5 points or less. They've been in all of those games. What can you take from the first round meeting with them that you can implement here in round 2 and hopefully have the same outcome that you were able to here in Greensboro?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's we just talked about our season and how we've had so many close games, and we hadn't necessarily had the outcome in all those close games that we would have liked. They've had maybe as many close games of us, if not more, and if again haven't been on the right side of that win column. But when you look at just the win-loss record, it can be very misleading. But when you go watch the film and you watch some of the way they've lost games, they've controlled a lot of games. Even the game they played against us here, I mean, they're in the lead for the majority of that game. I thought that in some ways they outplayed us. They're a terrific team. They had a terrific non-conference schedule, or a terrific run in their non-conference schedule. So they're really good first. I think and Scott's doing a terrific job. They run tough stuff, and they do a great job of getting the ball and the guys who can make plays in the right guys' hands, I should say, Luke. But we got to do a great job of handling their pressure. That's always a key when you play against Scott's teams. They're going to press on almost every possession, it seems like, and throw different presses at you. And you got to do a great job getting stopped in transition, because Cunningham and Jones-Gibson are as dynamic in the open floor as any 2 guards in this league. And they set so many ball screens, so our ball screen defense and our coverage in those ball screen actions will be really important.
And finally, Coach, you said, I didn't think our guys played very well in Game 1. So now that you get a second shot at them, what would you like to see specifically against Sanford that you'd like to see your team improvement on from last time?
I didn't think we played poorly. I just thought Sanford played really well. You know, I just thought that Sanford played, you know, better than maybe you remember. You know, you go back and watch the film and you go, man, they're a really darn good club, and they probably outplayed us in some ways. We got to take care of the ball again. I think, you know, you showed a couple clips there, and one of the clips is Demetrius coming from behind and getting a loose ball. You know, I mean, you got to do the little things on the road. And I think that's whether you're playing at Sanford or anywhere else in the country. If you're playing on the road, you got to do little things to win games, and that's something we talk about a lot in our program, and something I hope that we can do a little better than we've done on the road in the recent past here.
Well, Coach Miller and the Spartans will hit the road Thursday night. They play the Sanford Bulldogs. That game will be televised on ESPN3 before they make the trip to Chattanooga on Saturday. Coach, we know you're extremely busy. Thanks so much for the time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Luke.
Once again, that was Coach Wes Miller. For everybody in Spartan Athletics, I am Luke Martin. We'll talk to you on the regular season finale of the Wes Miller Show next week. And as always, go Spartans.